it with my hand. I run a credit card below. Thought a new dress would make it better.
Hi YouTube, it's me Sharia, and I am in my car today. So small update. I purchased me an iPhone 7. Not really to keep up with like technology, but I had a Samsung Note, I think 3 or 4, but it was like 4 years old. Like I got it either before I got pregnant, while I was pregnant with my son, or right after he was born. But this is it. It's so old. The screen is cracked, you can tell, horribly, and it's been like that for 4 years. And the past I think maybe like since the summer, for it to work I had to keep it on the charger all the time. So this past Wednesday or Thursday, I was on the phone for an interview with the state at a hospital. And I was on the phone, and I knew I needed to plug it up to the charger, so I was looking for my charger. I was on the phone and I was driving, and the phone went dead, so we never scheduled the interview. I went straight to the Verizon store. I was supposed to be going to the gym, but I went to the Verizon store and I got the iPhone 7. Another reason I got the iPhone is because, well, one, my daughter's going off to college soon, and that FaceTime feature was very important to her, who has the iPhone 6. And what was the other reason? Oh, for this reason right here, so I could record videos in my car, just because I'm stretched so thin I don't really have time to sit down and record videos, and when I think I'm gonna have the time, I don't. So I'm interested to see how this is gonna go. So about the interview, the interview was for the state at a hospital for a licensed clinical social worker, which is what I am. But it was at a hospital facility, and I don't know if it was before. So Jesus. Okay, so it snowed in North Carolina last Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday, excuse me. But it was so cold, it ended up being a whole lot more ice. And so I was supposed to be at the hospital on Sunday. I worked Friday, came in Friday night, continued on all the way through Saturday, and I was supposed to be to work on Sunday at 6:45 a.m. to 7:15 p.m. Well, I did get, okay, so I got emails from, they have like an inclement weather policy or whatever, and I got the email on Friday that said, I don't remember what it said word for word, but it said something like, if you're scheduled to work, we expect you to be here. If you would like to, rooms are available if you'd like to spend the night. If you call out sick, you need to have a medical doctor's note, and if you don't make it, you will get unpaid time. You will receive an unexcused absence with no pay. So I read that and interpreted that as optional. I hope that makes sense. Like, these are your options: come to work like you're supposed to, and you can spend the night; call out sick and have a medical doctor's note; or don't make it and receive an unexcused absence. I didn't interpret that email to be the expectation and the consequence. I interpreted it to be options. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't make it on Sunday. Well, so I got up, I texted my supervisor the night before, and I was like, I said, well, I'm gonna come, but I'll probably be late. So, because I wasn't gonna drive in the dark on no ice. So I attempted to go. I got up at my regular time, but I just didn't leave until the sun came up. So it might have been like 6:30 or so. And so I got up and I backed out of my driveway, and as I backed out of my driveway and turned, my car spun and landed in a ditch. Not like a real deep ditch, but like in the, I guess like the embank, like the, I don't know, it's a ditch. No damage, just was stuck in the ditch. So I go back, I wake my husband up, and he came, and then my neighbor was driving by, and she sent her son, and they got me out the ditch. So from there, not even a foot, I'm at the stop sign, I'm turning, and I spin again because it's ice, and my car is face back this way. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm not going. I'm going back home. I'm gonna get back into bed. I'm just not gonna go. I'm gonna take the unexcused absence, and we're gonna be fine. So I get back home. I text my supervisor, this, and this happened. I'm not gonna be able to make it. So once my nerves calm down. So on Monday I email her. Wednesday I email her for the schedule. So last Wednesday. So I email her for the schedule. She emails me back the next day, and she's like, no, Tuesday. Okay, I'm sorry, Tuesday. So I emailed her on Tuesday when I got back to work, because we work from home for my full-time job, because they don't expect us to come in the snow and risk our life. So email her on Tuesday for the schedule. She emails me back either Tuesday or Wednesday. We're going back and forth for a day or two, and she's like, I was supposed to do your evaluation on Sunday, but you didn't come. Missing work for weather is unexcused, but here's the schedule, or something like that. So I emailed her back, and I was like, well, I didn't interpret the email as if I was going to be in trouble for not showing. I interpreted the email as, this is your option, and I chose option C because I attempted to come and I couldn't make it. And so we went back and forth. She was like, no, the email was very clear, or she attached the email, and she was like, it's very clear. And so I emailed her back again, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I read that email, and that is the email that I read, and I interpreted it this way. But I also respond that, okay, I understand that this was my misunderstanding. In the future, I will plan appropriately, and I'm ready to accept whatever the consequence is. But because it was my 90-day evaluation, I expected the consequence to be that I was going to get fired, just because it's the 90 days. You didn't have an unexcused absence. You're PRN. We don't really need you anyway. You can be replaced. Blah 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 blah. So that's where that whole concern in my last video came from. So up to date. So I go to work yesterday on Monday, MLK, because my full-time job was closed for the holiday, and the whole day I'm thinking, like, any time now we're gonna have this talk, I'm about to get fired. And so things were happening that made me think I was gonna still have the job, but I know that that's what they do. Like, they don't want to tip you off. You might act crazy. But when I got there, like, there were all these trainings I had to do. She wanted me to do them, like, right then and there. So I did those. It was like 10 of them, and they were online, and they were like new hire employee trainings or whatever. And I was like, okay, she just want me to do these, so it won't be an issue if I get fired, which I wasn't gonna make one. It's my part-time job. Then, like, I had to get another TB test, and she made sure I got that, and I was like, what is the big deal? I'm not gonna be here in 2 days since I'm getting fired. Instead of thinking positive, I was really pessimistic instead of optimistic. And it wasn't until maybe like 4 o'clock, because they hired me to do 2 functions, and so I trained in that function first, in that role first, and I had asked her, I was like, okay, this is really gonna tell me if I'm gonna get fired at the end of this shift or not. So I had asked her about training in the other role, and she was like, well, I don't know how that's gonna work. You'll have to talk to that supervisor. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting fired. And so I had texted my husband. I was like, yeah, it's definitely coming, but it's cool. And so we went back and forth, because he was like, no, it's not cool. It's not cool to get fired. And it's not cool to get fired. But what I was thinking was, I thought I made a decision based on what I needed to make a decision on. And really, I stand by the decision I made. You know, I attempted to go to work. It did not happen. And I could not see myself continue. If I couldn't make it off my street, I could not continue to try and drive to get to a part-time job that, if something happens to me, wouldn't even pay my family insurance. Like, they don't even have insurance on me. Like, I have insurance through my employer in addition to another life insurance policy, but if something happened to me going to this job, this wouldn't even be the job that will continue to take care of my family through a life insurance policy. So I was very confident in the decision I made not to go to work, and why. And so I was fine because I was confident with the decision I made. I was comfortable with the consequence that came behind it, if one came behind it, even if it was getting fired. So once I explained that to him, he was like, okay, well, that makes sense, blah, 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 blah. To sum it all up, I did not get fired. Actually, I got an evaluation. My evaluation was good. And I have 2 more days in this role for this month, and then I actually start training for the other role, which I'm excited about because that role is more flexible. And what I'm looking for, I don't mind working, but I'm looking for more flexibility. Like, this job really drains me. It's 12 hours, you're sitting still, talking to people, and it's like, no, I feel like I'm confined, and I really am. I'm confined to this hospital, and there's like no outlet. And so by the time I get off at 7:15, I am really drained. But the other position is like, so I train this Saturday from 10 to 2, and it's like a 4 to 6 hour minimum. I can come in on Saturdays, I can come in on Sundays and help them with the assessments, and everything is good. So before I had the evaluation, I was gonna just call and, you know, give my 2 weeks and see if she would go ahead and accept it being effective immediately, because I was just like, I'm just gonna let it go, because I felt like, because of all these absences, I felt like I was walking on eggshells at a part-time job, and it's uncomfortable. So I was ready to just let it go, but I'm glad I didn't, because I feel like training in the other role and working the other role is gonna meet my needs a whole lot better. And then I still have the option of doing the hospital whenever. So, I mean, doing the other role, the 12-hour shift role, whenever. So, that is my update. I don't really have a question for you guys. I don't know, I guess. Oh, thank you so much for you guys' advice. You kind of feel alone, but I had a lot of people say, you really just need to evaluate and go with your gut. One person commented, and I wish I remember names. One person commented that she never believes that a part-time should be more difficult than a full-time, and I'm with you on that, girl. I can't really think of the other comments, but they were all helpful. I read them all. I hope I responded to them all. I love reading you guys' feedback, probably because I haven't gotten any negative feedback yet. And that is it. I just wanted to come and give you guys my employment update. If you guys were worried, I couldn't wait to share the news with you guys, and so that's what I did. So you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. And I will talk to you later. Hopefully there'll be some more I guess I'm gonna call this my car chronicles. I like that. Anyway, hopefully we'll have some more. My baby's in the back. I'm actually at the house dropping him off to my mom. He stayed up all night last night watching TV. He has his own room now, so he thinks he's a big boy. So he is back there. My car is junky because I've been shopping all weekend. I'm gonna do a haul maybe after I take everything back that I don't need. But I was doing some serious decluttering and reorganizing, and I bought a whole bunch of organization stuff. So also coming up, maybe this week or this weekend, I created a coffee station, a coffee hot drink station at home, and I cannot wait to share how that turned out with you guys. And that is it.